This channel is supported by TrueFire. TrueFire is an online library of lessons from some of my favourite players. There's thousands of lessons on there. You can use the promo code JNC40 to get 40% off of any of their courses. Okay, so in this video I wanted to dial in something. I think based on yesterday's video, a couple of people said, could you try and get close to what you were doing with TONEX with the Helix? Now that was I think quite a special set of captures that were involved there. So although I think I can get somewhere in the ballpark, I think maybe it'd be worth checking that out anyway. I think they can do a trial on that, and I think there's some really cool captures. A few people said that they felt like there was more dynamics and more feel or whatever, so I spent a bit of time with the Helix and just dialed this in, and it got really quite close in the DAW, so hopefully this will translate for you as well. Because I was recording direct into the interface, I think maybe the gain was a bit hotter going in, so I've compensated for this with the gain block here. So just boosting into the front of this stuff. You could experiment with that if you've got humbuckers, maybe turn that off. But, so we've got kind of two key tones here. We're using the Cali, Texas Lonestar Channel 2, which is kind of Dumble-ish. Now, the story goes something like soon after Mesa Boogie brought out their Mark 1, Dumble brought out the ODS, and then Mesa Boogie brought out the Mark 2, which looks a lot like a Dumble schematic wise, you know, it's this cascading gain stages thing, and it's not totally dissimilar to the ODS. So I thought maybe we'll go for this instead of the Litigator, which is not based on any specific circuit anyway. This could be just as close to a Dumble anyway. I've got a Mark III which I compared to a carrier tone OTS, and they are very similar. So we've got the drive at 3.2, drive 2 at 3.8, the bass nice and low at 1.7, mids at 3.4, treble at 4.9, channel volume at 8.6, the presence at 6.6. We've got the drive thick shape at thick, and then I'm using the 1x12 Cali EXT, the 67 condenser mic, so a Neumann, position 3.4, distance 2.5, and the high cut at 12 kilohertz. into the dynamic plate, but you could experiment with your own reverb settings. This is 4.3 seconds, 18.5 damping, and 18% mix. So that's our first tone, which sounds like that. So really pretty, really quite a full, but quite a Dumble-ish tone in my opinion. Now, as we get to the second option, so this is kind of our drive aspect. So I've taken drive 1 up to 6.6, drive 2 up to 7.5, the bass down to 1.3, the mids down to 1.2, the treble up to 7.6, and the channel volume is at 5.5 there. You could experiment with that wherever you want it. And the presence up to 7.6. The only other difference is that I've switched over on the cab to a 57 dynamic, so Shure, and the position to 4.8 and the distance to 1.75. The high cut comes down to 7.1 kilohertz. Now this gets us a bit more of that biting kind of singing. And then our second snapshot will be a boost. Now obviously you've got enough DSP where you could experiment with other things. One thing that I might try be putting a spring reverb in here between the amp and cab, because that was one thing I really liked about the TONEX. But give that an experiment. You've got enough DSP to do other things as well. I just thought that that was quite a fun little set of tones, and I hadn't necessarily considered ditching the Litigator for this kind of Dumble thing, but the Lonestar is pretty close. If you do check out the history of the Mark series amp, the Lonestar is definitely within the Mark kind of flavour. Give that a try. I'm not saying it's better than anything or anything like that, but I think that could be one really cool way to get some of the Dumble ODS kind of higher gain tones, which the Litigator doesn't necessarily get quite enough gain to do that sort of thing. The Lonestar definitely does. So I think you could really get some fun out of that. This will be a Patreon exclusive preset. If you want to join the Patreon, there's a really low cost tier, so that hopefully anyone who wants to support can do. And yeah, this is Lonestar ODS. I'll put that up on Patreon for you guys. Thank you for the support on there. If you aren't on Patreon, you hopefully can follow along and build the preset anyway. And you've got enough DSP to add in delays and all sorts of stuff anyway. I'll catch you in another video soon. Cheers. Bye.